Welcome to Math Warmups using a CRA strategy. You'll be looking at K through 5 teachers in a PD learning how to use the CRA strategy within their math warmup. The goal of having this CRA PD is to teach teachers that concrete objects need to be taken out, not necessarily all the time, but at least in the beginning, and it would be nice to have them out during your lesson. Too many times teachers go straight to the representation or straight to the abstract, and students don't have a time or have a chance to get to really know what those represent. What does a cube represent to them? What does a line represent? So that's the point of our CRA training today. The warm-up is nothing new to Northside teachers. However, the setup is a little bit different this year. The district aimed to get something very prescriptive and very targeted to student needs based on data. Everything was supposed to come together nice and neat in a 20-minute review or mini lesson. Now, the problem is, as we did some walkthroughs, warm-ups were happening. However, they were not very engaging, and the quality of learning was just not quite there. We appreciated how teachers were implementing warm-ups, but now we just needed to take it a step further. If you'll recall from the warm-up framework, one of the components were prescriptive targets. What you'll see here are TEKs that we've pulled out for each grade level. These TEKs are something that they really need to work on, things that they've already done before or that we have found are a problem in the past. As we did our walkthroughs, we noticed that the concrete was not there. We wanted to give teachers a model of what exactly we can use to make that TEK come to life. You'll see kind of our planning process here. We wanted to include a lot of manipulatives. That was the goal, to start with the concrete, then move to the representational, then move to the abstract. You'll see some of the upper grades and the lower grades. There were many things that we can pull from. STAR tests, YouTube videos, many different things, but we needed to really hone in on something that was concrete, representational, and then abstract. Now here you'll notice the actual first grade team coming in, and I start the presentation and ask them how they can relate to CRA or if they even know or have heard of it.
Maybe heard about it, used it maybe, and if not, that's okay.
I think I don't know if we've named it that, but that is kind of like what we do when we do the prompter solvers, or even this last unit in math where they have to draw it and then they have to write you have to write the sentence explaining, and then you have to write the fact. So you're showing it in different forms.
So I think showing it in different forms, that's probably one of the big concepts of CRA. Yes, you're right. And we were telling a lot of the teams that you do this already. You're already doing this. All we're gonna do is refine when and maybe how, right? When you do it and how you do it. So let's kind of look. It's concrete, right? Representational and abstract. And sometimes we think of those things in isolation, but we're going to show you how we can put them together and give them a good, solid foundation of what they're looking at. I will tell you, in the lower grades, super, please try to do this all the time, because when they get to the upper grades, it is more difficult to do this. And if they have already the foundation of having a concrete, a representational, and a sorry, and an abstract way, they will get a lot better in 5th grade. So let's go. This strawberry, right? Everybody's cool with this. I could have this. I could have a.
Let me stop and interject really quick. This is the slide that they are looking at. The top strawberry is obviously the concrete, right? The concrete, whatever we're talking about in a math problem, that is the concrete I need to bring out, or that I'm trying to get teachers to bring out. Then we go down to the representation. Either it's a counting cube, a counter, or a drawing. And then we get down to the actual abstract part of the problem.
Strawberry, whatever it may be, this is a strawberry, this is something concrete. The kids can touch it. I can give them, they're manipulative. I can give it to them. They can touch it, feel it, smell it. Don't taste it, but you know. From this strawberry, so that would be our concrete, right? Now I move on to my representational. I can draw it. Most of the younger grades, I know you guys like draw it out. I see the drawings on the 10 frames and stuff, so that works too. And then look at the abstract part of it, right? Sometimes I feel like we kind of just automatically go to the abstract. Okay, I'm gonna draw red dots. Or not even red, I'm gonna draw these black dots. These are the strawberries. And it may not be as clear to the students that this is what we started with, right? And this is what we're gonna get to. Some kids do get in, some kids don't, right? And it, you know, their drawings and stuff, you could use counters, you can use a lot of different things to represent here. But I feel like here in the concrete is where we needed to really, really make that connection before we get to the other things. In the older upper grades, look at that concrete. I would argue, you could make an argument that that's still representational, but do you see how hard, like, okay, well, what if the problem had 300 strawberries? I'm not gonna do that either, right? So that's gonna have to work for the older grades. But you can see the progression, and you can really see how something like this would be really, really abstract for kids, right? This is tough for some kids. And again, that brings us back to the differentiation in your warm-up. You can do this all day long. You can do this with all subjects, but we're just focusing on warm-ups, right? Look at that in fractions. I would even say a concrete model for that first one, the pizza cutout. We have it somewhere, right? The little pizza, yeah. So take a look at that all the way to your abstract, super abstract. Kids have never seen that. Y'all don't have to deal with that right now. So, okay, so let's look at this. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to read, and then I'm gonna ask you what that means to you. What does that mean to you? What does that slide tell you? We looked at concrete representation and abstract in math. What does that mean?
That it's taught all together, that they're not different. You know, they need to identify that all three are the same. Or meaning the same.
Agreed? Yeah. One of the other teams said a keyword, and she said that means we need to teach it simultaneously. All the concrete, the representational, and the abstract should be taught simultaneously. So does it mean that I put this away? Do I put the concrete away? Once I'm done with it, do I put it away eventually and we don't use it anymore and we just never see it? No, right? It means that all these three, we're working here. That's our goal, to work in that space that is constantly showing the concrete, constantly showing the representation, constantly showing the abstract. Now, does everybody need this all the time? No, I mean, your kids are some can do without, some need it all the time. But that's would be our goal, to keep it out somewhere, and I'll show you how to do that kind of in warm up. But to keep it out somewhere and available, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go to that's a kinder model. We had every grade level. Let's look at this and let's move our brains to warm-ups, right? Today's Thursday. What do you do on Thursdays? Anybody remember what your warm-up is for Thursdays?
Oh, today we did thoughtful Thursday.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you're the first one all day to call it the right thing. Get a high.
That's because I just I have I linked it on my plans. I have a slide. So at the end of every week, I just set it up for the next week.
Good idea.
And I just try to find stuff to do on there.
And you'll notice that so Thoughtful Thursday can be number lines or in and out tables. Not that it has to be those, but you make adjustments for your classroom. Yes, it is Thoughtful Thursday, so we're gonna work with number lines, right? And as I model this for you, I'll go back and forth between you are my classroom, I'm the teacher, I'm modeling it for you, but I'll take a step back and say, okay, look, you already knew this as a teacher, this is why I'm doing this, right? So that slide is busy. I don't even like the way I made it, but it serves a purpose, right? The TEAC is order whole numbers up to 120 using place value and open number lines, okay? It's kind of a lot. It can be a hefty goal because you have to use place value and you have to use number lines. You may want to separate those and then later bring them together and into one task. Your task today, though, is to order numbers using the open number line, right? Something that you could do is have several different people with several different models, right? So you pose to the students this is that, you know, order these numbers using the open number line, right? However, look at the way we're getting to. Let's see, I think you can have that one. Let's see. I have my bank of tools right here. It's easy access. I'm gonna go as a teacher and give these to somebody. I'm already grabbing them. They're easy for me to get. Okay, look, you know what? This is your teacher brain already. You already knew that this little girl needs her tactile. She needs something. Okay, I'm gonna give her. And you know what? I already know what my numbers are. My numbers are 7, 19, 32, 45, and 10. I know good and well she cannot handle 45. I'm gonna give her 7 counters. You know what I mean? That's your teacher brain. Already have planned this out. 1, 2, 3. There you are. That's yours. I haven't given any numbers out, right? Look at her representation. Look at her representation, right? And then I go back to my tools that I already have open. Okay, well I have some medium kids, I guess I'm gonna use them. You already know this in your mind, so there's yours, that's your number. Remember guys, we're using and we're ordering these numbers on the open number line, right? Ms. Renteria, I feel like you could handle Braining Camp. Can you open Braining Camp? And I'm gonna give you a number on a sticky. Open Braining Camp, open to some counters maybe. Right? Everybody has something different. Notice it, and you're in your teacher mind still, and you're getting these together. Sorry,
I'm doing this as a student.
Yeah, you're opening Braining Camp. I might have you with these. You might have to draw. Did I give you something? Yes, I gave you something right. Now, let's take a step back in the teacher brain. Not everybody has to have something different. Everybody's doing the same thing, but I could also say, you know what, I'm gonna put somebody with her and her counters, I'm gonna put somebody with you, and you know what, everybody else get a dry erase board. Or, I don't know, up to you and your teacher decision. Everybody else you're gonna watch. We're gonna watch today. Maybe you'll get something tomorrow. That's up to you. But here it comes in the differentiation, right? Do I have a lot of concrete models of things also? Yes. It seems like there's a lot going on, so you pick as a teacher who gets what and how many kids get what, right? Okay, so let's see, and you're walking around, we're ordering these numbers. Do you know how many you have? 7. Okay, oh, very good. There you go, here's 7. How many do you have on yours? 19. What? All right, I'm good. I'm glad you can handle 19. Can you show me on here, and you can draw on there, can you show me that number? You're going around, you're going around. I'm gonna hand you this one. Take it to me first. Never mind 10. You have 32. And then I need somebody else to hear. I'm gonna give this number.
Show her.
Maybe
Make
you
her show
have.
on Braining Camp.
Yeah, show me on Braining Camp that number, please. Remember, we're trying to order these. Wow, how pretty. How nice. For Braining Camp, you'd probably like have to already know where they're going and help them out with it. On the sides, I also put pencils. I could have given somebody a pack of pencils to count. Money, I don't know if you have money, you could give it to a really high kid and show them money, right? Is everybody comfortable with their number? Okay. Braining Camp, I feel like that's probably the more tougher ones. You maybe have it open already.
You would give
She's on.
every kid a number?
No. Somebody's working. Yeah, somebody's working with you, or like I said, or you're just watching. Sometimes I tell kids, put your hands together. Look at the numbers. Let's see what they have. Can you tell what they have? Give them a few seconds, like we did right now. right? Look, okay, we're gonna put these numbers in order. Okay, all right, we're ready to go. Everybody has their number? Okay. It is up to you if you would like to bring your tool or not, but for sure you need to bring your number. Remember, we were gonna order these numbers on a number line, right? Just for these purposes, we're gonna move to the other room and use that number, the other number line, and put them on there. But as a teacher, you have it in front of you, right? You have it on your board and have it ready to go. And everybody got something to see and to be sure of their number. Rubine would need a number 3, and she would need counters for that. But you also have some really high ones that could get higher numbers and show different representations.
So I'm giving them the concrete, and then they're telling me what number it represents.
That depends on their level. I have the numbers picked already that I want you guys to put on the number line. With somebody really, really low, I would maybe you give them the number first, and then that's kind of more of a decision you would make like on their level, if they needed what they needed first, or if they needed it at the same time. I could have given them the number first and said, here, let's count them together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? It just depends. Braining camp, did you get your number on braining a model? Very nice. Is everybody sure of their number? Wow, I see. Miss Salgado, can you hold up your model? Look at hers. It's like something completely different on a 10 frame. It's just stickers. And I asked her to count first. She told me the number first, right? Okay. So like I said, it's up to you if you want to bring your tool that I gave you or not, but for sure bring your number and let's go. We're moving to the next room so we can use their.
At this point in the presentation, I've passed out manipulatives for everyone in the group. We are a small group, so everyone got something to use, something to utilize. They have something in their hands and they're ready to use it. All right, and in your rooms, I imagine, like I remember, Ms. Renteria, I did it in your room, and not everybody got something, but we were all sitting in a circle and everybody could see what everybody else has. You know what I mean? You could still visually, oh, I see what she has, and I did tell them ahead of time, not everybody's getting something. So if you don't have something, okay, watch what they're doing. If you don't have anything to use, maybe use your dry erase board. But again, that's a teacher decision. If you feel like that's too much and there's just too many little things going on, then don't give them that. All right, well, let's see. Where could I put these? Who do you think? If you have a number, come on up. Let's see. Who thinks they go first?
I do.
Let's kind of look around. She thinks she goes. Do y'all agree? Okay, all right.
Model.
No.
Hunter.
No, please.
Thanks, Hunter. Yes, to be line leader.
Now, I'm going to ask her to start at the very beginning, right? I'm not going to start. Does anybody have 1 or 0?
I have a 1 and a 0.
You have a 1 and a 0. How many? Exactly. How many were on your 10 frame?
Oh, 10.
10. Okay, so she has 10. I'm going to tell 7 to start right there at the very beginning. Is that okay? Can I start a number line with 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here, right? Okay, all right. Who thinks they go next?
Me.
10, all right. Can you put that more or less where you think it would be? Now, this is not exactly, yes, it's an open number line, but it has the intervals already. Notice the numbers that we have are not going to, you're going to have to fit it in where you think it goes.
Miss, that's not right. It's not right.
Are we skipping a few in here? Do more numbers go in here? Yeah, and that's okay. We can fit them in there more. Maybe we're just not going to see them. Who thinks they go next? Okay. And on and on and on. You guys can continue. Put yours where you think more or less they go. Oh, wow. She skipped a lot of space. Is that okay? I went from 19. Oh, I like that. Okay. All right. And then 45. Okay, let's take a step back. Does that work?
Warmups. The fidelity, y'all are using the different energizers and different strategies, activities. But now we're like, okay, we do see, okay, and y'all mentioned the behavior and issues that y'all are having at your grade level. I think that this can allow the opportunity for those kids that are either bored or just it's way over their head, whatever you are presenting through energizers or warm-ups. This gives them the opportunity to engage one way, and if they need concrete because they don't understand whatever you're presenting during warm-ups or what you're trying to do through recursive review, like this gives that opportunity for those kids to participate at their level. And that's and this is where this is coming from. And we talked about it with the other grade levels, and especially with second grade, because the minute that we started talking about what CRA is, they're like, well, we do that all the time. Yes, you do. You do it all the time. Small group, whole group, in your stations. When, you know, all the time we're differentiating for our kids. So now we're like, okay, well, then we can also differentiate within warm-ups. And it's things that, you know, it does seem like it's a lot to plan for. But once you have it planned and you already have an area where you can go grab counters, go grab place value blocks, linking cubes. Okay, we're gonna do it this way, Hunter, come over here. We're gonna do it this way with concrete, you know, and then it'll be like, and then the kids also, the expectation for the kids, you know, and that they have to be involved in math warm-up. They're not gonna be over there in the corner on the floor, you know, doing what they want.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna engage them because why you're meeting them at their level, okay? And so that can help out. Hopefully it will. And I've seen it, you know, happen when back in the day when we did math action wall before we did warm-ups, like when you really target those kids, because you have such a big range of kid ability levels, through differentiation, through using, and how can we differentiate is by using the CRA model and having that, which will be beneficial for all students, not just the low kids. For all students, it will be beneficial. So.
I like how you said it allows everybody to participate, because one thing that we saw in warm-ups, while 90% were engaged, there was still a small percentage that wasn't. And let's say it's the lower kids who don't, you know, who didn't even who don't know what's going on because they're just a low kid. Let's say like we gave Ms. Barbosa the number 9. I gave her a lower number on purpose. Maybe she doesn't know. If I just gave her the number 9, maybe she didn't know what 9 is. Like I can tell there's some low kids, they wouldn't be able. I think of my group because I have them all the time. But like Rubine wouldn't be able to have participated by herself. But we scaffolded that for her with the C, with the R, with the A, and she was able to participate with her little number. I would even start smaller. You know what I mean? I could start smaller with her too. So it does. It gives everybody time to participate, or it gives everybody kind of an opportunity to participate. The cards, like she has her card there. When I went into Ms. Renteria's class, I had the card too. I didn't have everything planned. I thought I was just going to use counters, but I ended up taking out different counters and a braining camp also. So no, I didn't have all those planned, but if you see fit at that time, you know what, you're gonna use this, but that's why having them ready will help. Something, I don't know if everybody, I think Ms. Renteria, I saw they had their tools, right? Like they all have their little tools. That's something too. This, I could see how this would be a lot, like for everybody to have it in their hand, and that's okay. We were telling the other grade levels also, like, hype it up, like, you know, let me see who's sitting nice and quiet because you get to use the counters today. You're going to use the counters, you know, and get them excited about it, because you're not going to have everybody using something. Not everybody's going to have it. So you already kind of have that in mind. Last thing that we're going to talk about, on our anchor chart here, we started with what is CRA, right? And we're going to end with 2 questions, and you may answer either one of them. First question, how would you implement this in your classroom, in your warm-up coming up? And you can put that on a sticky note, or you can answer, what is CRA? Just what is it? You can answer in words, you can answer in a picture, and then when you're done, you can hang it on our anchor chart. What is CRA, or how will I use it in the classroom?
Such skilled based, they may be doing great in addition and subtraction, but once you got to, geometry and PFL or whatever you're in, they're not proficient in that. So they might need the concrete. So so kids can constantly see the CRA all the time, and then when they do get to the upper grades and they do a lot of abstract up there, it'll connect because they've seen a lot of concrete and a lot of representation, and they're still doing it in the upper grades. So please don't feel like it's just like, oh, and something else to do. It's more of like, okay, let's make the kids at their level, You're already doing it in small groups. You're already doing it in whole group during your mini lesson. You're already doing it in stations. You're already doing it all the time across contents. Why not do it during warm-ups as well? So,
Maybe
please let us
challenge-
know. Yeah, let us know.
Start with 2 things, right? Let us know what if you would like other things. There's all those different manipulators. But what if you started with 2 things? I would say like the 2 color counters and then place value blocks maybe, or square counters and then I don't know. Start with something simple. Start with something simple that you know. One kid gets that. I know my low kid needs this, and my high kid needs this. That would be a start, right? I mean, that would be a simple start.
Yeah.
Okay.
And something that Mark Yarber, he's our special education area director. He came in and did some observations for our campus. And one of his questions is how many students were using manipulatives. And I said, well, on that one, it depends on if they were math or in reading. And he said, no. This is his recommendation, that every child from kinder all the way through 5th should be using some manipulatives. So that's what the CRA, I heard both of them. And then I would recommend on Wednesday.
We also try to include some modeling with anchor charts and make them student created. So that's what they were doing. All right, can you kind of see?
Yes, you are getting up.
Where's your
I like how you're working together. Look at us.
Where would you be?
Where would you be?
Point be on.
Where is X and where is Y? And stand. Once you find your point, you can stay there. You can stand there.
No, stay there.
Stay there. Stay there. Hold your circle. There you go. Okay. All right. I think we
I'm too close to Grannis.
But what? But
Your X and Y
but
are-
why?
I'm the outlier.
Okay, so let's have a conversation.
Wait.
Where is our X?
Should be this one.
Bottom.
Okay. Where is our Y?
Here. Vertical.
Okay. All right. So let's see.
Isn't
Oh,
the
you're
X
right.
on the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
X
other
is
way.
bottom. Mhm.
But then your coordinates are backwards
Yeah.
on the plates.
No, we're
No.
good. No, we're good.
Look,
this
it-
is X.
X
This
is
is
the
your
bottom
origin.
You're
and
fine.
Y is up.
Yeah, this is your X right here.
Right
That's
here.
marked 5 for my X.
Correct.
22 right here.
Oh wait,
But
this is
your
yours?
X. Your X.
My X.
Your
your
5
X
you
is
should be
5.
right
Should
here.
be
Right here, the other way.
there.
You're gonna be real close. Yeah.
Higher.
You're like basically on top of Grants.
Right there.
Or boosters.
Oh.
Grants.
Because this is 5.
5 is real
But you gotta
close
start
to
remembering
0.
this.
Yeah.
X,
This
Y.
is my X, right?
No, that's
No,
the Y.
And this is X.
Oh, that's my
That's
X.
hard because it's on the floor.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah.
You
We
see
only
it?
had so much space to work
Yeah,
with.
it confuses you if it's on the floor. Yeah, on the floor.
Okay.
5 and then.
That's the other thing that is now you're looking down at it instead of
Uh-huh.
looking like this.
So you're.
So it's gonna confuse you. This is your X
Yeah.
is
X
here.
is here.
So
Uh huh.
mine, then
Oh, I thought
mine
it's-
is
okay.
wrong. So
Okay,
is
got
that-
it.
No,
I should
because
be.
you're over there.
You should
Way
be
up
pointing.
here.
Yes, you're there.
There we go. Okay, so let's take a step back and look at it in a teacher mind. Look at all the things that we did, right? We saw, as a teacher, we saw some issues that we got to talk out. We looked at this in a different point of view, which sometimes Star messes us up and gives it to us like this. So do me a favor, place your paper plates where your point is and take a step back. Let's
Does it
look
go
at
inside
this.
the room over here?
No, don't put it in the room.
Remember, the question was, is it additive or multiplicative, right? It's tough because of the shape that we have of the hallway,
Goes up the wall.
right? So can we see how this is a concrete,
That 522, wouldn't that be 5? If this is 20, this is 10, and then this would be
you're a
5.
little bit scoot
Yes,
closer
right.
to
5 would
the,
be here where my foot
Yeah,
is.
you're neat. I like
no,
that.
that would be 10.
There
You're
you
using the
go.
Tiles, yeah.
Yeah,
for
no,
the-
there you go.
there you
for
go.
the spacing, yeah.
Real close to that 0, it's
Yeah.
Then you
5.
should basically
And then
be
mine would
like-
be right on the line, but
Uh-huh.
up here somewhere. Yeah.
Look how you can, look at that representation now. Now look at how concrete that is. Would you say, for sure, is it additive or multiplicative? What would it look like if it were additive? What would it look like if it were multiplicative, right?
What-
Now, additive and multiplicative are very similar, I can understand that, right? So what are some noticings that you can tell already with
I mean, it's
the
kind of like a
kids?
straight line.
And it's going up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
So it's
just
going
probably a
up?
straight line going up.
Mhm.
I mean, they all are. When they have the same relationship, it's a straight
That's the
line.
hard part, yeah, additive and
Yeah.
multiplicative, right? Okay, so this is, but can we see how this is concrete? This is something you really, we saw it, I came and stepped on it, I stood on it, I was able to move to where it belongs. As the teacher, I saw different things that I need to kind of clarify, right? This is a really, really big concrete part of it. Now, take your coordinate, let's go put it on the actual chart that we have in our room, and we're gonna represent what we just did on our CRA poster. Thank you, sir.
I wish that STAR allowed the kids to use manipulatives.
I know, I wish they did. I was talking to,
it's so abstract. To
I
me,
know.
CRA means to move the kids from concrete to abstract because the STAR is abstract. And if they had little, counters that they could use or little things, I bet a lot of our students would do much better.
Yeah.
And
We were
that's why
doing-
you have to teach them to use that representational.
Yeah.
There is that.
You can draw. I
bridge.
guess you have to draw.
Exactly.
I hate, we were looking at different shapes and acute, obtuse angles, and I had the shapes for them, and I hate that I have to say, okay, but remember, I'm sorry, you're not gonna have these shapes, so.
But the thing is, they're feeling it,
and they live it
will.
at that time.
Yes, Mark Yarber was here about with second, he was saying everything. Reading, math, they need to touch and feel. It has to be manipulative.
So we have a whole room,
through
there's a
five.
room here, there's a room there of manipulatives. Please ask, send us, on the agenda sheet there is linked the materials request form. Please send us, or, something, so we can get you those materials. I know right now you guys are in geometry, so let us know. Enjoy, let us know if you have any questions as well.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
Thank you, fifth grade team. Math team. Thinking, I always talk about read the question.
Yes.
Understand the question. Go back to the question, because certain things may be right and true, but the relationship between X values and Y values. So this is the one. Oh my God, is this the right one? Yes. Okay. I was like, this better be the right one because that's how I got it, right? So this is the only one that does that.
Right.
So even just by looking at it, you may not even, you can eliminate a lot of it
They
and
should
then
cross
just,
out C and D because it's additive.
Yes,
and then
because
they're
yes.
Struggling readers, they're gonna have a hard time.
That's what I was
with this
gonna
problem.
say. Yes, you can tell them to read, but they're struggling readers, or they don't understand the vocabulary. Represents, relationship. There's already two big words in that question that I could have problems with.
Dr. Ray, point to the answer. Ready?
oh, okay, wait.
Twitter moment.
With the 10 frame and make one more than 13.
This would be very interactive. I could see this on the floor and everybody's in a circle around
I have a
it.
question on this though.
Or
If you
stand.
measure the process, it's a stepping back on the process and answer the question. My question on this is, I have students and it comes right away that they want to know the answer right away. Like you have a problem and they want the answer. Like they don't even want to think about the problem. And that goes in the same way my classroom is in general. But it just brings it back to what do I need to do to make them think of how to get to that.
Doing the CRA will slow them down like a GT. Now they're, instead of blurting out the answers 14, now they're gonna have to represent it on a number line, write out 1 through 13 and 14, showing it that way. So this will kind of slow them down to where you're making them accountable to represent what you're asking them to do.
And I think setting the expectation also, it's not a new one, I have it on the floor, but just so that we could hear our conversation, having the expectation before I don't even show that anything to the kids yet. Okay, we're gonna do something today, and I don't want to know the answer. You're not gonna tell me the answer. What, miss? We're not gonna. No, you're not gonna. I don't want the answer. I don't want the answer right now. So don't even think about telling me the answer. Say that first and be very, very strict and set your expectation. You're not going to yell out the answer. I'm not going to tell you the answer right now. No, we're going to work through this. We're going to discover. I don't know. Don't say work. We're going to discover a lot of different things about what we see here. Make it, you got to have to kind of hype it up. So.
See, and all this time, I'm sorry for interrupting, but there's something that what I like is that it also shows different ways of doing a problem.
Yeah.
Like it brings them down to that part of math in general. I don't want to make
Oh, I like that you're choosing different options. Wow, look at that. She's drawing over there. Remember, your teacher brain is going off right now. Watching, learning. Look at GT over there. You already differentiated this. You already thought, oh, I know who needs this. I know who needs that.
This bundle of 10 means the same as the 10 frame. It means the same as 1 0. It means like 2 5s when we do the tallies. It's the same thing. You're doing the same thing, just like when you're doing the number line too. This is the same representation, but I mean your same number, but you're doing it in different representations.
This is 10.
And
yeah,
I like when they said one of the first slides that we saw had said, you know, don't do them one at a time. Do them simultaneously. There's your word again, right? Simultaneously, because they'll forget or they just don't remember. Oh, they compartmentalize and, oh yeah, I did it on the 10 frame. But then you pull out something else without connecting it to what you just did. It kind of gets lost. And I get it. They're little. But I like the idea of having something different. Oh, look. Johnny showed 10 or showed 13 on this number line, but look, she had it also on her 10 frame. So it's all the same. It's the same thing. And that will help with your shapes too. If I turn it this way, I turn it this way, that will help. But I think a constant of having those out, it's going to be very repetitive for you. It's going to be repetitive for kinder. Yeah. Any other questions we have or anything? 7, 8, 9 class. Did we do it correct? Yes. Okay, we're up to 13, but we haven't answered our question. I think you guys had really good. Oh, you need one there. Huh. All right. On 3. We're going to whisper. I don't know if everybody knows yet. I'm looking at your work over here, but let's whisper. On 3, what is 1 more than 13? Ready, go.
You didn't say 3. You didn't say 3.
1, 2, 3.
14.
14. 1, 4. Oh, look at that. She even got the answer from up there. Okay.
You can tell your class uses 150.
All right.
She's down there on the ground.
All right. So I'm going to give you the magic 1 more than 13. Now let me ask you this: is 14 greater than 13?
Yes.
Sure is. Sure is greater than 14. So now let's kind of take a step back and you can sit down if you want. This is a 3rd grade model. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are really in star mode right now. They wanted something that really, really connects to their star test and looks like what the star test looks like. And we don't blame them. However, we need to show them what it looks like to make something concrete first and then move towards your star. And not that it's first, that concrete can stay out. You don't have to put these things away. The concrete models can stay out as you move towards the abstract. We had recently spoken to 4th grade and they emphasized that the kids were really, really having a difficult time comparing decimals and fractions, and sure enough, that is on the STAR test. So this is something concrete we gave them. Now, although it looks rather abstract, they did have the money to start with, which we hoped that would be concrete enough. And for some kids it may be, and for some kids it may not be. They may need something else. But we did start with money and then move forward from there. As we went through the presentation, some of the teachers started to look a little nervous, or maybe looked at all of the manipulatives and got a little nervous or feeling like it was too much. So we did encourage them to start small and then move their way up. They can start with 1 or 2 manipulatives that the kids are used to and then move up after that based on the need of the kids. We usually ended the presentation with somebody putting the hat on, showing the word, and making it something fun and just silly so that they can have a starting place. There's concrete, there's the word is abstract, but the representation is on the other side of the card. So it could be something that's small that they can start with and then move on from there. We wanted to make sure that they had a really, really good model with several manipulatives, but also a starting place that's as simple as a concrete, the hat, the representation, which is on the other side of the card. It's the picture of the cone, and then the word, which to a kindergartner, that word cone surely is abstract. We are always modeling good practices, and we included an exit ticket for the teachers. And where would we be without some follow-up? Let's take a look at how it turned out in practice, in the actual classrooms. Some of this we helped the teachers with. I actually taped out on the floor for the teachers, and they really, really enjoyed it. To this day, they are still taped on the floor, and the kids reference back to it. It was a really, really fun activity for them, and this happened after we had the CRA training. They were able to go take the kids out, be out there for the entire lesson and make it really, really concrete. The kids were able to step over it. I saw some of them counting with their feet and walking around and touching and feeling and just experiencing what perimeter and area is. We did emphasize to the teachers, have these things ready. This does take some planning, but it's not difficult. It's just a matter of organizing your materials so that they're easy to get. This one teacher, and it did happen in the warm-up, very, very simple. He was able to include problem solving in the warm-up in addition to taking out these manipulatives and having the kids work with them. Not only did some kids have these fraction pieces, but other kids had dry erase markers and different shaped fraction pieces. You'll see here, this was also in the teacher's warm-up. The kids are able to hold and touch that number. This was decomposing a number. She sure did take out those manipulatives, and they were actually working in groups to decompose a number into 3 or 4 or 2 pieces. I love what this teacher did with her students. She has the manipulatives out already and does not pass them out based on her choice. She asks the kids, if you need them, come and get them. Whatever you would like to use, choose one and come and get it yourself. So this gives kids a lot of autonomy so that they can choose, what do I need? What do I need for my own learning? We did clarify for teachers that concrete objects can be used or should be used throughout the entire math block. You'll see here a student working on her program on her iPad. A lot of teachers give the iPad to the students but do not allow them or do not just think of things to give them while they're working on that. That program is very abstract, or the pictures are just on the screen. They need to be able to touch and feel something, especially the younger kids. So we did include a short snippet about using manipulatives with computer programs. Last but not least, we have a feedback form that is given to the teachers after we go in and do a walkthrough. It may be the math specialist, it may be the instructional coordinator, or even administration. We walk in just to kind of follow up on things that are going on in the classroom based on what we've just covered. Now, if they have any trouble or anything, of course, they're able to come and ask us. But I like this form because we can fill out, it sends itself directly to the teacher. They're able to see their glows and grows immediately. And if they need anything, they can come and see us. For the most part, everyone had a really, really strong grasp on what CRA is. Now, instead of using the manipulatives, maybe 4 or 5 of them, they were using maybe 2 or 3, which is great because it was a start. So it really gave us a good idea of where we can go from here and what kind of support that they need from the math specialist in order so that they can get to the 3 or 4 manipulatives if it's needed. Now, data is kept on these walkthroughs and shared with admin if admin is not the one doing them. It is nice to see the progression because in the beginning of the year, it was basically, are we doing warm-ups or not? And now we've progressed all the way to let's use some manipulatives, let's differentiate for our kids during the math warm-up. So it is nice to see the progression, and we've got notes on some of the teachers, how to help them when they are not doing what they need to be doing. That's something that we kind of consult with them and ask them if they need anything. But if they are doing great, of course, they got their glows and their grows feedback already.